You are listening to Bedtime Dreamy Tales. Share and subscribe to our channel. Story title: Prince Ring. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far to the north, there reigned a noble king and his queen. They had two children, a daughter named Ingeborg, renowned for her beauty and grace, and a son named Ring, who was gentle and kind but not inclined towards the adventures that often captivated other young men of his rank. Ring was more interested in books and music than feats of arms or daring exploits. When Prince Ring turned 12, his father, hoping to instill in him a sense of adventure, organized a grand hunting expedition in the nearby forest. It was a fine winter day, and the snow glittered like diamonds under the bright sun. Ring and his men rode deep into the forest, laughing and sharing stories as they went. Suddenly, they spotted a majestic hind with a golden ring on its horns. The sight was so extraordinary that Prince Ring, filled with excitement, urged his horse to chase the hind. His men followed, and the forest echoed with the sounds of their pursuit. They chased the hind for hours, but the creature was swift and elusive. As the sun began to set, the horses grew weary, and one by one, they started to founder. Eventually, Prince Ring's horse also gave way, and he found himself alone in the deepening twilight. The darkness became so thick that he could no longer see the hind, and he realized with a sinking heart that he was lost. His men, each thinking they knew the way back, had scattered in different directions, leaving the prince utterly alone. Desperate and cold, Ring wandered through the forest until he stumbled upon a small clearing by the sea. In the clearing sat an old woman on a chair, beside her a large barrel. She greeted him kindly, and her eyes twinkled with a mysterious light. Ring, polite and hopeful, approached her and explained his plight. She listened attentively and then gestured towards the barrel. Peering inside, Ring saw a beautiful gold ring lying at the bottom. The sight of the ring mesmerized him, and he asked the woman if he could have it. She agreed, but only if he could reach it. Eagerly, Ring leaned over the edge of the barrel to retrieve the ring. However, the more he stretched, the deeper the barrel seemed to grow. Just as he was about to grasp it, the woman stood up and pushed him in headfirst. The lid slammed shut, and the barrel was rolled into the sea. The barrel floated for what seemed like an eternity. Ring, frightened and alone, could do nothing but wait and hope. After many days, he felt the barrel strike something solid. Summoning his courage, he kicked out the bottom and swam to the shore. Exhausted, he lay on the smooth rocks by the sea, staring up at the towering cliffs above. When he regained his strength, Prince Ring began to explore the island. It was a place of wild beauty, with thick forests and apple trees laden with fruit. Days turned into weeks as he survived on the island, eating the apples and drinking from clear streams. One day, while resting in the shade of a tree, he heard a tremendous noise. Looking up, he saw a giant dragging a sledge loaded with wood. Terrified, Ring hid among the trees, but the giant spotted him. To Ring's surprise, the giant did not seem hostile. Instead, he picked up the prince gently and carried him to his home. The giant's wife, an equally large but kind-hearted woman, welcomed Ring warmly. They treated him well, and he became like a son to them, helping with chores and learning their ways. The giant showed Ring around their home, a massive cave filled with treasures and strange artifacts. However, one room remained off-limits: the parlor. Curiosity gnawed at Ring, and one day, when the giant was away, he sneaked into the forbidden room. Inside, he found a large, fearsome dog chained to the wall. The dog spoke to him, saying, "Choose me, Prince Ring." Startled, Ring fled the room, but the dog's words stayed with him. Life continued peacefully until one day, the giant announced that his time was near, and he wished to return Ring to the mainland. As a parting gift, he offered Ring anything he wanted from the cave. Remembering the talking dog, Ring chose what was in the parlor. The giant, though surprised, honored his promise and gave the dog to Ring. The giant took them to the sea in a stone boat, just large enough for Ring, the dog, and the giant himself. As they reached the mainland, the giant bade them farewell, and with a heavy heart, Ring watched his friend disappear into the distance. The dog, who introduced himself as Snati-Snati, assured Ring that he would help him find his way. Ring and Snati-Snati journeyed through unknown lands until they reached a great kingdom. Snati-Snati advised Ring to seek shelter at the king's castle. The king, a wise and just ruler, welcomed them and gave them a small room to stay in. However, the king's advisor, a man named Red, grew jealous of the attention Ring received. To test Ring's worth, Red suggested various dangerous tasks. First, he proposed that Ring and he should compete in chopping wood. With Snati-Snati's help, Ring's woodpile was more than twice the size of Red's, impressing the king immensely. Next, Red suggested that Ring should kill the wild oxen that roamed the woods and bring their horns and hides to the king. Undaunted, Ring set out with Snati-Snati. The oxen were fearsome, but with Snati-Snati's aid, they managed to slay the beasts and bring back the trophies. The king's admiration for Ring grew, while Red's jealousy turned into hatred. Desperate to rid himself of Ring, Red devised one final challenge. He reminded the king of 3 precious treasures that had been stolen from him: a gold cloak, a gold chessboard, and a bright gold piece. Red suggested that Ring be sent to retrieve these items, promising the king's daughter's hand in marriage if he succeeded. The king, though reluctant, agreed and presented the challenge to Ring. Determined to win the princess and prove himself, Ring accepted. With Snati-Snati's guidance, he set out on the perilous quest. Snati-Snati led Ring to a cliff where they gathered a large amount of salt. Following the dog's instructions, they climbed the cliff and reached a cave where the trolls who had stolen the king's treasures lived. Peeking through a window, they saw the trolls sleeping around a fire with a large pot of porridge hanging above it. Quietly, Ring poured the salt into the porridge. When the trolls awoke and tasted it, they became unbearably thirsty. One by one, they went to fetch water, taking the stolen treasures with them. Each time, Ring and Snati-Snati ambushed them, retrieved the treasures, and disposed of the trolls in the river. Finally, they confronted the old hag who had cursed Snati-Snati. Using a combination of boiling porridge and red-hot irons, they defeated her and burned her to ashes. With the treasures in hand, they returned to the king late on Christmas night. The king was overjoyed and kept his promise, betrothing his daughter to Ring. The court celebrated with feasts and merriment, but Red, in a final act of malice, tried to assassinate Ring. During the night, he crept into Ring's room, but Snati-Snati, sleeping in Ring's place, thwarted the attack. Red was captured and hanged for his treachery. On the night of his wedding, Snati-Snati asked to sleep at the foot of Ring and his bride's bed. In the middle of the night, Ring awoke to find Snati-Snati transformed into a handsome prince. The spell had been broken. Snati-Snati explained that he was also named Ring, and a wicked stepmother had cursed him. The hind, the woman with the barrel, and the old hag were all the same witch who had sought to prevent his release. The 2 princes, now brothers by bond, brought the treasures back to the castle and shared the wealth with the kingdom. Ring's namesake married his sister Ingeborg, and together they ruled their father's kingdom. Prince Ring remained with his father-in-law, eventually inheriting the kingdom and ruling wisely and justly with his beloved princess by his side. And so the tale of Prince Ring, filled with adventure, bravery, and magic, became a legend told for generations to come. If you like this story, please give this video a like. For more stories, go to bedtimedreamytales.com. See you in the next story.